So, when I used to live in Shreveport, Louisiana, I was in my mid to late 20s, and I used to play a lot of basketball back then. I believed in buying houses, and in that particular case, there was a house that I purchased in a neighborhood called Stoner Hill. Was it a luxurious neighborhood? No, it was one of those neighborhoods where you might have one street with nice houses, one streets with who knows what. But I know how to protect myself and carry myself. I don't have issues, so I can pretty much live where I want and be just fine. I believe in the power of ownership, so that was the best idea, the best thing for me and my family at the time. Anyhow, one day I decided to go to a gym in Stoner Hill. And if you know anything about Shreveport, like I said, it's hit or miss. Um, I feel like if you go anywhere on the planet and you keep your mouth shut, you respect people, you'll be fine. It's gotten me anywhere I've needed to go up until this point. It's not something I'm going to abandon. So I got my ball. I like to have a back then rather when I was serious about it. I had certain shoes I played basketball in. I had a nice leather ball I keep with me. So on my way inside the gym, I hear two young men having a conversation, which sounded like words leading up to a fist fight. Except one young man asks, "Hey, you strapped?" The other one says, "Yeah, I'm ready." "You strapped?" And this is broad daylight. These guys are about to shoot it out. So it's just in my heart to teach. It's in my heart to coach, and I just have a heart for young people. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Guns don't scare me. I'm a nice guy. I made good grades. I'm just a nice guy from a bad place. It is what it is. With that being said, I said, "Excuse me, fellas," and the boys were actually respectful. They turned and said, "Yes, sir." I'm just looking like, wait a minute. Why are you guys about to shoot each other? One says, "Well, he keeps trying to steal my girl." The other fella looks and says, "Well, he's trying to steal my girl." I'm like, "Well, fella, she can't be both of your, she's not your girl and she's not your girl either, obviously. Where do you think she is right now?" So the young men kind of just looked at each other and looked at me and they shrugged their shoulders. "I don't know." And I said, "Guys, she's probably talking to another young man. Apparently, that's her pattern of behavior. But you know what? I don't know her. She's not here to defend herself, so I'm not going to pass judgment on her. But fellas, you're about to lose your lives. And for what? Go home. Put them guns up and go home." They were young men. They had to be 15, 16 apiece. I asked them to get rid of the guns, but okay, I get it. But at least live another day. Go home. And they went home. Now, if you know anything about Baton Rouge, Louisiana, right now there's a lot of violence in the streets. There's other factors I think that are contributing, but I'm going to hold my peace on that today. I want to talk to my young people, specifically in the city of Baton Rouge, if you ever happen to run across this video. I don't know what you're uh, at each other's throats about, and I'm not going to get into it. I have a general idea. The world operates a little bit different. When I was a kid, we just fist fight. I have no problem admitting that. Look, we go to the park, to somebody's backyard, middle of the street, get them up, do what we got to do. And you know what? Many times, if somebody was not satisfied with the result, hey, we'll go a couple more rounds. Maybe draw a little blood. Maybe somebody really gets hurt. Who knows? But when it's over, we just, it was customary. Dap it up, it's over with. If it ain't over with, fight a little bit more until it's over with. And then it's over with. And you know what? You see that person the next day or the next week. "What's up, man? How you doing?" And keep on going. You're still alive. I'm almost willing to bet that what these young men are killing each other over, it isn't what they think it is. If it's over territory, do you own the houses on that street? Even if you own the houses, let's be realistic. You have to pay taxes. People have their thoughts about that. I won't get into that today, but just think about what I'm saying. You can't take it with you when you're gone. Maybe it's about some type of relationship issue. I'm going to be blunt, young men. Women outnumber men. There's another woman you can find if that's the case. Is it about money? Right now, in the school systems, they literally force you to have some form of a bridge to the next level of education. You have to leave with some type of trade, some type of skill, or at least rather some credentials leading towards it and some experience leading towards it. Right now, CDL truckers are making good money. There's a teacher shortage. You can learn how to code. I'll even go a step further to say, look, young man, if you can convert ounces to gram, you understand science and math on a high level. You just don't realize it, and you don't realize who and what you are. But the amount of money that you're having these shootouts about, if that's the case, it's not worth your life. And you can make that same money legally and probably make more. There's no retirement plan with what you're doing. There's an early exit, and it's a gruesome exit. And I have another channel where I talk about faith and what you believe in, but you surely better know where your soul is going when all this is over. Because if you're out there living like that, I can't judge you. I can't judge you because I'm not forcing it on you. But if you're a Bible believer, when Yeshua the Christ was crucified, there was a person who was actually guilty of a crime next to him, and that person was saved because they believed. Am I telling you that that's a cop out? No, but I am saying I'm not going to judge anyone. One thing I've learned, I don't care if they're homeless, I don't care if they live by the street code, people are people. And quite frankly, some of y'all won't like this, but I've seen some people who wear shirts and ties and suits, go to church every Sunday, and people in the street living by street rules have a better moral compass. That's not a conversation many people are ready to hear, but okay. I don't have any problem against people who live that type of lifestyle because I do what they do. And, excuse me, I do what I do. They do what they do. And our paths don't really cross. I know how to keep my mouth shut, mind my business, and be respectful. I teach kids like this. I teach some kids that let's just say they it's amazing. The people on the music that they listen to a lot of times, it's just an act. These are actors on recordings. They send their kids to private school. They speak proper like I'm speaking now. They just understand music and marketing. And then again, you do have some of those guys who actually live the lyrics out, and you can tell because they're in jail or they're dead or they're on their way or they're trying their best to pay lawyers and fight their way out of those situations. There's something wrong when you become comfortable with dysfunction, ladies and gentlemen. You weren't designed to live in constant stress, constant fear, and looking for a constant adrenaline rush. And all of this stuff where people are committing crimes and shooting each other for Instagram likes and video watches. Your life is worth so much more than that, especially if you have children. But if you are a child, you haven't even gotten to the point where you can live to see adulthood. There's so many ways to solve problems besides violence. Even in these places where these things may happen, and it ain't just black neighborhoods either now, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do that. I've lived in rural areas. I've lived in areas that are comprised of other demographics. Oh, they have their issues too. It just those issues don't get reported as much as swiftly and as in great detail. So when I say stop the violence, I'm talking about everybody, not just us. One demographic may say, well, look at these people shooting each other. Okay, that demographic has a whole war going on. We don't start wars. People within demographic groups handle their issues with people in their demographic group. So we're not going to play that game. But I am going to say to each and every young person listening, violence ain't the answer. Unless it's self-defense and you just have to do what you have to do, there's no need to be risking your life, because if you could look back on it as an older man or older young lady, you'll get to look back and say, that wasn't really worth it. Have a good day.